a new place where they can go raise money and be competitive, which is the public stepping up. And what you get in return is you own your democracy again, right? Those candidates are accountable to you instead of being accountable to the special interest. So the Government by the People Act would do three things real quick. Number one, a refundable tax credit, small tax credit, $25, to help people get into the arena as participants. So you make a small donation to a federal candidate, you get a tax credit on that to help you do it. Then we come behind that and we say if the candidate you support is trying to do the right thing, they agree to give up PAC money significantly, lower their high donations and so forth, and reach out to a broad group of small donors, then we'll put a 6-to-1 match behind it. Now let's do the math on that. Chris and I would tell you that to make it worth it for a member of Congress to traipse up to K Street during lunchtime for 20 minutes, they probably need to bring $10,000 back from that exercise. And believe me, there's plenty of lobbyists up there waving their hands saying, we got that money for you if you'll just give us a few minutes of your time so we can bend your ear. So that's the standard against which the people are trying to compete. Well, right now, if you have a house party and 30 people come and they give $25, you can't compete. That's $750. You got to go raise, if you're a member of House, $1.6 million to run a competitive campaign every 2 years. So this is your choice. You have to go to K Street. But what if you had a house party and 30 people came and they gave $50 using their $25 tax credit? That's $1,500. You put a 6-to-1 match behind it. That's another $9,000. You've just raised $10,500, which makes you competitive now by spending time with real people in your district. And here's the other benefit. When you spend time with those folks, you're hearing about the priorities and needs of the broad public. If you hang out with the current political donor class, you may get a very warped, distorted, and narrow view of what the priorities of our country should be in terms of public policy. You think and you act and you make public policy based on the company you keep. So let's create a system that allows candidates to keep company with the people, and then we would get public policy that reflects that. And then the third piece of our bill would allow some additional funds to come in behind candidates in the home stretch of a campaign so they could weather some of these outside attacks, just to make it a little bit sort of more viable and competitive for them. So that's the broad outline of the Government by the People Act. A national coalition of environmental groups, civil rights groups, labor groups, good government groups, reform groups have gotten behind this effort. We have 160 co-sponsors. It's bipartisan because we have one Republican. Hey, you take what you can get in this world. It's Walter, of course. But let me tell you something. Walter Jones, 3rd District, North Carolina. You poll, you do surveys. 57% of Republicans in swing districts across America, according to a poll a year and a half ago, support the kind of reform elements I just described. Right? Dave Bratt in Virginia beat Eric Cantor largely on this message that he had been captured by Wall Street and crony capitalism. This sentiment is broad and deep, and the challenge for us is where do we take it? Is it just going to go in this direction of anger and destruction, or can we use it to restore our democracy? And the good news is, like I mentioned about Montgomery County and Howard County, all across the country, people who are angry are saying, we're not just going to get mad, we're going to get even. We're going to go build systems that are accountable to us. And they're doing it in Arizona, and Connecticut, Seattle, Maine, New York City, and now Montgomery County, and we have it on the ballot here in Howard County. This is the way to channel our anger, to make a difference and build a system that's for us. So I'm excited about the prospects for us to keep this broad movement of responding to the undue influence that money has in our politics. This change will come because there's no alternative to that. Money's effect on our democracy is an existential crisis for our democracy. So the people are gonna get satisfaction on this. It's only a matter of how fast we get there. With your support, I think we'll get there sooner rather than later. And with that, I'll
also thrilled to have with us tonight Janine Massey, who is an activist with Move to Amend, which is a national organization that's working to overturn Citizens United and to oppose the crazy concept that corporations have constitutional rights. Janine.
Thank you. I feel a little bit like an add-on item at Amazon, where if you get something substantial, you can add on the $2 or $3 additional item. But it's just such an honor to be here with these rock stars. I'm an educator by profession, a wife, a daughter, a sister, a pet parent, and like you, a volunteer in this democracy movement. The thing is, the reason why I feel so honored is because most of you probably know as much, if not more, than I do here. You know, for example, that 32 people donated as much money in the 2012 election as 3.7 million others. And I'm sorry, I said people, I mean donors, 32 donors, which include super PACs and other contributors, 32 donors. And you also know that the Citizens United decision, sorry, it's a little bit strong here, my voice, I'll try to back away from it a little bit here. So you also know that the Citizens United decision had everything to do with the case law and the legislation it overturned as it did with the facts and the case. You know that it's really hard, and let me just explain that. So what I'm saying is that the Citizens Unite